You cannot save them. You just can't. I know you wanted to. I know you stayed so long and forgave and loved. One of the reasons why was because you told yourself you could save them. You saw the light in them. You wanted to change them. You wanted to be there in support of them. But there is no saving them. There's only saving you. Tonight I want to talk about forgiveness. I put a message out about forgiveness earlier, which I believe is a fundamental part of our healing journey. I think it's one of the last stages of it. And it is also something that is used to reclaim the goodness in you, your heart, your love, your compassion, your undying dedication to somebody because you see the light in them for whatever reason it was. Whether you are a well put together person who was duped, bamboozled, run amok by a practiced con artist, or you're a person who had some type of unresolved issue or a need to believe in someone else because of, your own broken parts, that you just kept hitting your head up against a wall trying to fix somebody who refused to be fixed. Whatever the reason was, you should be able to reclaim those good parts of you without the stink, the stigma, without the pain and trauma that was placed upon it by someone who didn't appreciate, for whatever reason, your sacrifice to try and help them better themselves. You can't control the people. You can't save them. You can only save yourself, and you only have control over your actions. What's going on, y'all? I am Lodanis Ravenwolf Dragonstorm, your seer and sage. Hail to my fellow survivors and thrivers from narcissistic abuse, or any other type of toxic person and toxic abuse that you went through. You hear this a lot. It's a hard thing to understand. It's a hard thing to conceive of, especially when you're angry, when you're going through rumination stage, when you are still being hoovered, when you're still hitting your head up against the wall, hoping that they will change, when you're addicted to the traumatic experiences and the highs and lows, trauma bonded, whatever the case is. You don't want to hear that at the end of the road is forgiveness. You have to forgive them. You got to forgive yourself and them in order, I think, to achieve peace. Now, before I begin all this, I would like to state that I'm not a life coach. I have no certifications. I am not a psychologist or a therapist, and I'm just a guy who went through some experiences and sees and tries to give you the wisdom from the experiences that I went through while learning from other people's when I hear stories or watch videos. Because them narc abuse coaches out there, they saved my life. I was a pretty low point, and those people, those other creators, the messages they give, the inspiration, the knowledge, the wisdom, helped to save my life. So that's what you're going to get here. Just guy on the street went through an experience, a set of experiences, and I'm just relaying what I understand. And that's what most of us do. That's why we go to those videos. That's why we search out information as to why we were in this crazy situation that we do not understand, why we were bamboozled, why we accepted lies, like allowed ourselves to be devalued, like basically lost respect for ourselves and love for ourselves because we kept putting energy into a person who was a manipulative liar. And the truth of it is, as I have discovered through my journey, is that, that it's not always for the same reasons. Narcissists themselves use the same tactics over and over again. There is a list. There is a checklist of behaviors that these people have that you can go through and know damn well you were dealing with a narcissist. But I'd also like to say that it's pretty easy to throw labels when you are emotionally traumatized, when you are going through experiences that you may have never been through before, that have like scarred or exasperated traumas in you that you may have never dealt with, or became exasperated, or were the reasons why you made the decisions to keep hitting your head up against that wall of a person who just refused to better themselves. There's any number of reasons. It's easy to throw a label out, but there's definitely a checklist out there. And if that person met all those criteria, they were probably a narcissist. But they could have been any other number of toxic type of person with conditions that you may never have understood. So when you're on your healing journey and you're trying to understand what you went through, know that sometimes you could be wrong just like you were, and it is a learning experience. You are not only learning about behaviors and conditions that you may have never seen before, but you're also learning about yourself. If you get to a point in life where you have been used by someone who is a manipulative person, who is toxic, narcissistic, or a narcissist themselves, or any variation of cluster B, cluster F disorders, then, there's a reason for that. What lesson didn't you learn in life? What have you not learned up to that point about yourself or about the world that you needed to, or you refused to, or you just didn't learn over and over again, that you hit your head You finally, ran into the Mack truck of all toxic, deceptive demons. What did you do? What did you not learn? For me personally, I learned about myself. I learned that I had manifested or gone to a specific type of women with certain traits to facilitate perpetual defeat in me for various reasons that I'm not going to get into. But you should learn this. You should use this experience to learn about yourself. To learn more about who you are. Some of us are a little too soft. Some of us think we're alphas, but we've got some beta qualities. Some of us don't approach the world with a strength that is necessary, with a ferocity, with a level of psychopathy that is necessary in order to achieve, to protect yourself. Some of us have unresolved issues and damages that will always be an underlying factor in the terrible, chaotic, I have no idea why I did that decisions that we make, that will screw up a perfect thing or a good time. And I mean, to a degree, let's just say that the person who you were with, who you went through this traumatic experience with, who was in a relationship, wasn't necessarily a narcissist, but narcissistic or some other type of toxicity. If you don't know about yourself, and if that person had a chance to better and change and you sabotaged it without knowing, maybe you were a contributing factor to the fall of that relationship. You don't know. Knowing yourself is key, understanding who you are. But for those of you who definitely went through an experience with a narcissist, there is no helping them. There is no changing them. And if they were going to change, they would have already done it. All you can do is work on you, control yourself, and better who you are. When it comes to dealing with toxic family members or narcissistic family members, the only advice I can give you is sometimes you have to cut people out of your life no matter who they are. And I think that there's another level of depth when you're dealing with parents who are narcissists or toxic family members, where you just believe that, in family, and you just want to be there to help them and give them every opportunity to grow. Again, sometimes hurting yourself over and over again is not the answer. Sometimes maybe you trying to be supportive of a toxic narcissistic or narcissist, you trying to be supportive of them and be there, is not allowing a road to open for them that may lead to their introspection, to their healing, to becoming a better person. You don't know. If you are in a situation, be it family, relationship, friend, whoever it is, that continually hurts you, that robs you of your self-esteem, your respect, your light, if every time, no matter what combination you have tried to unlock that light you may see in that person, always leads to your pain, you're not meant to be there. You're just hurting yourself. Sometimes you just got to walk away, no matter who they are. And sticking around, whether you're trauma bonded, no matter how much you love them, no matter how much you see in them, you could have known that person for most of their lives and seen that steady, slow transformation, and only really see that younger person who had a greater chance of being that bright light or a successful person or a better person that they could have been. You choose to concentrate on that and believe in them. Hey, redemption arcs are a great thing, and believing in other people is wonderful. Having compassion, understanding, and kindness, being patient, those are all beautiful things. One of the things that a narcissist or narcissistic or toxic person does is try to spread their pain. They feel hurt inside. They're not resolving their own issues, and instead they shift, they blame, they deflect, they project onto other people, and they're trying to spread their pain. They want to take that kindness, that strength in you, that wonderful heart you have, and create such a horrible experience or set of experiences with them that you lose faith in it. And that's no go. That's no good. That's no go. That's no bueno. That's not what should happen. Those are strengths. Even if they were used against you, those characteristics, those traits are strengths in you. And in order to heal, to truly heal, you have to reclaim them. You have to reclaim them a little wiser, stronger boundaries, maybe a little tougher. The experience, using the wisdom of the experience and the lessons that you have learned, or you finally learned, use those to make you a better person. Because not everybody deserves your compassion. Not everyone deserves that kindness, and it is what it is. And I know how tempting a great redemption arc or being a savior or hero complexes may feel, but listen, Captain Save-A-Ho, take off the cape, because some of them do not want to be saved. Trust and believe their actions, a person's actions, not their words. What they do is what they mean. All right? Not all the time what they say is what they mean. What they do, their actions, that is who they are. Trust in that, even if you knew that person for a long time, even if you can sense or see, or you feel as though you can see that bright light, the potential within them. That light may be there. It may exist. It may be real far deep down underneath a bunch of scars and trauma and unresolved issues, but you can't save them. Only they can save themselves. And as I said, sometimes when you continue to try, you may just be hurting the situation, and you're definitely hurting yourself. If that person has lied and schemed and avoided healing and used other people for most of their lives in order to get what they want, and has chosen to make terrible choices in relationships and be with men or women who are just as toxic or have bad traits and have adopted those things to become a better manipulator, there's nothing you can do. They have chosen the dark side. Okay, it's just, that's it. Just sometimes you got to walk away. You got to love yourself more. Forgiving yourself is key in healing. It is key in the end part of the healing process. Forgiving yourself because you let yourself down. You did, even if you had the best intentions, no matter how long it was or drawn out or what you went through. At some point in you, you're going to feel like you failed yourself, and you've got to forgive yourself of that. Embrace the lessons that you have learned. Apply those lessons. Become a better version of yourself. Refuse to ever let that happen again. Love yourself, respect yourself, know your worth, and move forward. You have to. Give value to that experience. Take it, make it as positive as you possibly can. And you've also got to forgive them. And I understand that sympathy is a tool that narcissistic or manipulative people will use against you. And I'm not saying to forgive them and have sympathy in a way that you are going back. But have compassion and understanding that for whatever reason, for whatever trauma or abandonment or crap that person went through in their early life, they were a victim. They were that defense mechanism they had to create to protect themselves from whatever pains or horrible experiences they went through was the reason why they're the piece of trash that they are today. But that's because they never had the option to, or they never chose to heal in an early enough time in their development that they could change the course of their thinking, their heart, and who they are. That's not on you. That's their decision. And it's their decision to heal from this point forward. Have compassion for that. Have compassion for the victim that they were, but understand you can't change them. There's nothing you can do. Every path with that person leads down a road to pain. It's not for you to do. It's not your place. And you've got to walk away. But you've got to forgive, because you've got to drop that weight. You've got to let it go. You've got to push forward. Understand and truly embrace that there is nothing you can do for them. There's no saving them. There's nothing you can do. It is not your responsibility. You did all you could do. You were there for as long as you were. You endured what you did. You showed in every way, shape, and form, devaluing yourself down to the lowest denominator, that you would be there to support, love, and cherish and hold on to them and do the best you could. You disrespected yourself doing that. You allowed abuses that you would have never allowed before. And it wasn't your fault. Understand that too. It wasn't your fault, right? Whether it was trauma inside you, whether it was an undying belief in love, or you were manipulated. You're a well put together person who was manipulated by a practiced con artist. That's not your fault. Okay. Those qualities are still good in you. Compassion, kindness, those things, love, your heart's beautiful. Those are still beautiful things. Don't let that person pass on their pain and create, and create traumatized experiences in you that will not allow you to embrace those beautiful, wonderful aspects of your heart. Just be more careful, but don't let them do that. Don't let that narcissist win by souring that part of you. You have a good heart. You are a good person. Continue to be. And just embrace the lessons that you've learned. Know yourself better. Heal whatever traumas or problems that you've had that were unhealed that allowed you to be susceptible. Be codependent. To embrace a perpetual defeat of trying to heal a narcissist. Do it. Doesn't matter how much you love them, how long you love them. Doesn't matter what you suffered and went through. I know it matters. It matters to you, and it mattered to you at the time. But in as far as helping them and bettering yourself, becoming a better person and healing, take all of that negative experience and give it value. Give it value by learning the lessons that you need to learn. Not dwelling. Don't stay on it. Don't stay in that trap. Learn the lesson you need to learn from an experience and move forward. Learn something about you and move forward. Go to therapy. Talk to a life coach if you have. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong or weak about learning more about yourself and how to be a better person. Those are strengths. Don't let nobody talk you out of that. move forward in life, embrace those lessons, give that experience value, as painful as it was, and understand. Because you may at some point run into a person worthy who is broken and who is worthy of that patience, worthy of your time. There will be a payback in the end for all the sacrifices or patience or forgiveness that you give. There may be. You may run into a young person who has gone through traumatic things, and you can see the early development because you've educated yourself through the education phase of healing, that they may go down that road. And you may have the ability to choose to help guide that person, be there, be a supportive force, be an understanding force, and help to alter, give them the opportunity to make the choice to alter their future and not become a full-blown narcissist or not live in toxic cycles and bad choices. You never know. Or you may go forward in life and just lead by example for other people around you, friends, family, whomever, as a representative of wisdom, someone who's endured intense pain and abuse and came out a better person. You may just simply by being lead by example and be hope for someone else. Whatever the case is, you have to forgive yourself. You have to forgive them. Be understanding. Let it go and walk away. Sometimes you're not meant to help people. Sometimes being around someone who's broken and being there and being your best self actually works against their healing and ability to move on. And some people are just so far gone. They have embraced evil. They have embraced being nasty, full-blown narcissists, whatever they are. And there's no saving them. But you can save yourself. You only have control over you. So make the right decisions, brothers and sisters. Choose love. Reverse that damage. Embrace the best parts of you. Learn your lessons. Apply them for the rest of your life. Maybe you have to be a little tougher. Definitely going to have stronger boundaries and be way more picky about who you choose to give your good heart to. But you can be a better person. Forgiveness is not for them, it's for you. Reclaim your beautiful heart and don't let it live in the past. Don't let that narcissist or that toxic person destroy the best parts of you. My love to y'all. Be good to yourselves, be good to each other, and never again suffer that fool. Walk away.
We have shown them that a trembling hand can become a fist. We have challenged the idea that a slave must always know his place, excepting Rod and Lash because he was taught to accept it. We built their mighty republic with our hands and our blood and our lives. And we can see it fall at equal cost. You opened my eyes to this.